Louie C. the Mayor checking in. What is going on, my people? Listen, we made it through another week, beginning of the week, great. And we're almost out of the movie, but we still in the movie, but we towards the end. So it's all love right now. Thank you all so much for checking in the podcast. Shout out to FloridaKeysEnergy.com. If any of y'all get in an accident, whether it be a moped, car, or bicycle, make sure you call FloridaKeysEnergy.com. Make sure you log on to them people on their website, and they're going to take care of these. Are local boys making things happen in Key West, and also the #1 doctor in America, Dr. Burroughs at Advanced Urgent Care. That man is definitely on point. And you can go to 3 locations now, which is Key West, Marathon, and Key Largo. So it's a wonderful situation. I got one of my favorite people here today, Clayton Lopez. We on live on the podcast, and it's going to be a wonderful interview. So y'all come on in and tune in, and we're going to make some things happen. All love right now. Mr. Lopez, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, Louie. Just keeping promises, man.
That's all we could do.
Amen.
And you're the first guest to be on the podcast twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. You was one of the first ones to come on. We wasn't even in this location. But you're the first one to come on twice. You know, me and you go way back, and I just want to let you know anything that you're doing, man. I'm 1,000,000% in support of Clayton Lopez. So, you know, like I said, me and you been at it for quite a while. People don't even know how long we've been at it.
We have. We don't have to tell them that, huh?
Yeah.
That's been a long time.
We're not spring chickens, but we still dealing with spring break.
Yeah. Yes, sir. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, Clayton, for those people who don't know you, we worldwide right here. First of all, before we get into that, please go ahead and hit the notification button right here. So like that, when we on the podcast. And if you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button right here. So like that, you don't miss an episode. So Clayton, a lot of people are watching worldwide. So some people don't know you from Adam. Most people do, but some don't. Can you give me just a little introduction on yourself, sir?
Well, my name's Clayton Lopez, and I've been here. I was, born here, been here. I'm going to be here. I'm District 6 Commissioner for the City of Key West. 4th generation call. Got kids and grandkids that grew up here. Got parents and grandparents, then great grandparents from here.
So you've been here for a while.
So we're pretty well entrenched, bro. Okay. We pretty well entrenched.
Well, you know how these phones start going off the hook, just like back in the day when you only had 5 digits on the phones. They're already coming in already. You know this character right here, Clayton. Can you see that?
Oh boy, I know him.
Yeah.
I know him.
Christopher Valdez checking in. Thank you, sir.
I'll be bringing the signs over tomorrow sometime.
Look, he's not here, but he watching. Like Mongo is about to go down right now. Look.
Astronaut teacher.
Hey, we got, before you even ask, me and Clay got our masks out here. So we good on that.
I got mine in my pocket now. We got them.
What'd he say there, Clay?
Outside.
Got that. Let me see. Got that Barack hair. Oh, love, Mongo. We miss you, Mongo. Come on down, boy. There's serious stuff going on. So, Clayton, over here on the podcast, we call it meats and potatoes. Yeah. We keep this thing blood raw around here.
Yeah, man.
First and foremost, how are things looking in the city right now?
I think things are looking pretty good in the city right now. We're certainly sitting a lot better than a lot of other cities that are dealing with the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We got on it rather early, and you and I have talked about it. We didn't necessarily agree with the timing of certain things or whatever the case might be, but there was no wrong action. I mean, everything that we did was right. Thankfully. Now I think we just need to make sure that people follow what we're actually, follow the guidelines.
Exactly.
Now, so that we don't have to impose anything again.
I think that you guys have been given a playbook that's never been played before with a Category 6 with this COVID-19.
Yes, sir.
So it's very difficult. So I applaud everybody. I'll be honest with you. This thing is very difficult. The city is in a pinch. Everybody up there on the diocese the county's in a pinch and there's no books to read and basically there's no manual. We made the manual.
There is no manual. That's right.
And here we are. And at this point, like we said, and Dr. Burrow's been on this with me from day one. More testing, more positive results. So when you see I think, don't quote me, but haven't checked the final statistics, but I think we have 4 new cases or whatever, and tomorrow we might have new cases, and the day after that we might have.
And they've been coming in quite a bit, Louie.
Yeah.
And you know what? And that's true. It's true that more testing will uncover more positives, and that's within testing for anything.
Right.
But once again, though, we can't attribute all the positives that we're seeing now to the increased testing, because there are many of these new positives that we're seeing that are actual new infections.
Gotcha.
So that's a reality that people need to face.
And we'll go back to basically the meats and potatoes of this thing. Asymptomatic people, you can walk around, go
And
play
not
a game
know
of
you
basketball.
That's right.
Walk downtown, be fine as pie, and all of a sudden they give you a test or whatever, you come out positive. It could happen. You don't have to have any symptoms. But my thing is, and this is coming from health professionals, is that there's just no way around.
I used to be one. Just retired from that job.
Yeah. So you like anybody would know more than anybody about this. So as long as we continue to have more tests, and testing's good. We want everybody to get tested, especially when it's free. Advanced urgent care, you could go there, call, make an appointment, Key West Marathon in Key Largo. That is free testing with insurance or without. And, certain requirements have to be made, but mostly everybody is free there unless your insurance don't cover it, have a certain clause in there that don't cover it. But for the most part, over 90% it's free. So that's a wonderful thing, because if you're feeling not well at all, you should go get a test, because now you don't have to have a criteria to get tested.
No, there's no criteria anymore. But it's the one thing that I do urge everyone to do, that is to call wherever they decide to go get tested. Call them in advance. I think Dr. Burrows has been saying that for the advanced urgent care, to call in advance, so that they can make preparations for you. For obvious reasons, you can't have someone that's potentially asymptomatic, or for that matter even symptomatic, sitting in the waiting room with someone with a broken leg or something like that. For whatever.
And I'm glad you covered that, because what they have over there at the advanced urgent care, they have a separation.
Correct.
They a triage. Basically cover people that might be COVID-19 separated from regular people. They're just coming out there for regular treatments, which is a great point that you brought. Please do not delay going places for your treatment because of COVID-19.
That's for sure. Absolutely. I mean, if you've got serious health issues or whatever the case might be, still go ahead and get seen for whatever's going on with your body. Take care of your health. This thing is bad. But can you imagine if you've ignored something else that's going on with your body, and then you get this? Now you've got a real problem.
Let me give you.
It.
I'm glad you said that. The comedian, I don't know if you see it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring that up too.
D.L. Hughley.
D.L. Hughley.
On stage.
So what happened is that man was fine as pie, just like we talking about. Asymptomatic. But the man, like all entertainers do, is work 24/7, 365, and basically his immune system was weak. He wasn't feeling well to the verge of exhaustion, where he collapsed. And only because that happened, he got tested, find out that he was positive. Therefore, like Dr. Burrows has been telling me, is whatever you need to do to boost immune system must be done.
Absolutely.
This will help you, because if your immune system is compromised and you get around somebody that might be a little bit sick, then basically it'll be easier for you to get the COVID-19. So don't overdo things or whatever. And if you feel a little bit not well, don't overkill it. Most of the time, I'm going to fight through it and go to work. You probably shouldn't do it anymore. It's a new time now.
Do all the things you would do to boost your immune system, but then don't rely on them to say that they're going to prevent you from getting it. They're gonna actually help you if indeed you do come in contact with someone that has it, or whatever the case might be.
No question.
But you know, because there have been people that say, "Oh, I've been taking the zinc and I've been taking this and
Airborne,
that,"
yeah.
you know, and that's a good thing. Don't stop doing that.
Don't relax, though. Don't relax.
But the big thing is that's, you know, while those are good for colds and stuff like that, they're not going to do what's necessary to keep you from getting this.
Clayton, boy, you're world famous. So look, we want to shout out some people. Who's that?
I see. Okay, my treasurer and cousin is watching. And
who's that?
That's Erica Brown.
Okay.
That's Erica Lopez Brown, and Jennifer Everett is watching. Hey, Jennifer.
You know this gentleman?
Oh, Gary Todd. What's happening, Todd?
Yeah, let me see.
And then there's Mr. Valdez.
What did he say there?
He says he's proud of his city right now, and I'm so with you, man.
Patricia's watching here.
All right.
You know this lady, Martha?
Oh,
Marshall? Yeah.
Yep. Oh, hey, Martha.
Yeah.
Robinson?
Yeah.
Martha Marshall.
Yeah. Jennifer. Well, you got a lot of fans on here.
Ralph watching.
Ralph, you know, Soul
What up,
City
Ralph?
Ralph, Soul City Break. We're gonna get into that. But look, Avita's right though. You could be good today, and 2 days later you could test positive.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to stay on top of it. Ralph Major, outstanding with the city. Outstanding right now. Thank you,
is.
sir.
Ralph is my go-to guy. He is awesome.
Kenneth
he helps
Alonso.
with anything.
He's a Key Wester, and he's out of town.
Primo.
So a lot of people keep checking in here. And today we got Dave, the Outlaw, on production. Thank you, Dave, for coming in on the production today.
Yeah.
Hey, if Mina's watching, I want to give her a shout out.
Yeah, come on in.
She did good the other day, didn't she?
Yeah.
She did good.
Look, good
Mina,
old boy
that's
Barry
Dave.
Gibson.
Oh, Barry, what's up,
former
brother?
colleague of yours.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Listen, if you have any questions for the commissioners, this will be the time. But let's move it along, Clayton. So let's get into the meats and potatoes. So, what are some treasures in Bahama Village? Because I get that all the time, and I know some treasures.
Oh boy!
Because people want to come down here, they trying to find stuff you can't find on TripAdvisor. So what would you say some treasures that you have to go to?
There are so many. One of the things that you'll find as soon as you come into Bahama Village is, first of all, the architecture. It's actually Bahamian inspired, which is and the Bahamians and the Cubans were the original settlers here. So anything that preserves or speaks to that history is a big thing. One of the major things in Bahama Village that I'm really proud of is that all the churches in Bahama Village and actually some points east of Bahama Village have a unique history.
Nice.
Which is actually, that's not untrue with any church here in Key West. Mr. Calvin Allen, if you get a chance, maybe you can get him on the show. He did an excellent expose examining the histories of the churches here in Key West. And yeah. And every single one of those in Bahama Village. For example, the Bethel Ame Church, its current location is actually its third location. The first time it was burned down by Ku Klux Klan. At least they suspected it was the Ku Klux Klan, but since it was burned down in the daytime, the Klan denied it, and of course there's no.
What year was this?
Oh God, now you did it. I forget what year it was. Oh yeah, no, it was way before.
I didn't know that history at all.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
This was like in the early 1900s there.
Wow.
The Corniche Memorial AME Zion Church is another treasure. It was built by, at one time, the richest black man in the state of Florida, who was a freed slave who mutilated his body in order to keep from being sold back into slavery.
Wow.
He in Key West, he became a farmer and an entrepreneur, and a lay pastor. So he along with some of his other partners, I guess you'd say, built this church.
Wow. So that's a lot of history.
Oh yeah, and the church is built from the wreckages of slave ships.
You could spend a lot of time down there.
God.
And we talking about churches. We ain't got to the food part. That conch salad over there at B. Johnson.
At the Johnsons, with the conch salad. Yeah,
I've been, a lot of people's a young.
They got the authentic thing there.
A lot of young people coming up doing conch salad, but B. Johnson's still number one out there, in my opinion.
I'm with you.
If you come to Key West, you must get that conch salad at B. Johnson.
Yeah.
And God bless that family. They've been around a long time. And like I said, Clayton, we got to keep it together, one human family. But Clayton, I got to tell you, boy, you got a lot of love here. This person right here, Scott Young.
Scott Young, oh yeah.
Jacksonville.
Absolutely. Oh wow,
Checking
good stuff.
Yeah, let's see.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
You mentioned the Johnsons. Let me say something about that. Their family patriarch, the late William Johnson Sr. He was one of the first black United States Marines.
Really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, oh yeah. And
every day I learn something in this podcast.
And there were 13. He was one of 13 from the city of Key West.
Wow.
That went up to become Montford Point Marines. They even though the armed forces had been actually desegregated, the Marines were being trained across the street from the main training facility where their white counterparts were being trained, and that was at Montford Point. And again, I'm sorry, I don't know the year. I do have that information, but I don't know it offhand.
Gotcha.
And unfortunately, I know people are asking about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's ample record of it at. Yes, it was. No, it was actually after pre World War II. Yes, it was pre World War II.
Good. Well, Clay,
but there's so much more.
I mean, we could spend a whole podcast
do that
on Bahama Village.
And if that were the subject, I believe me, I could bring the information and have it.
First of all, let me tell you how we operate here. For those of y'all that don't know about the podcast, we don't have any teleprompters. This is just basically what we call blood raw. So ain't no telling what comes up here. And we're ready to answer any question that anybody got. But the main thing is we appreciate people coming here. I told you we got people from all over coming in here. And please hit the notification button here and the YouTube channel on the Louie C. Rock. Hit the subscribe button right here, because every day, like I said, I think we're almost on podcast 70 now. And you're the first one that we repeated coming in. So there's a lot of people. Anybody want to get on the podcast, please reach out to me, DM me. We're going to take care of you. Also, it's a lot of people coming in town. Slowly, we getting back to the entertainment. Thank God. Yeah. So go to Where's the Party Key West on Facebook and find out all the events. And any business can post on there. Not a problem at all. And also a big topic coming up, Fantasy Fest. Go to Fantasy Fest Celebrity Parties and keep updated on what's going on there. So Clay, I understand that you're up for re-election. So how you feeling? And what's up with that?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. Like I said, I'm keeping promises and been working hard to make sure that we keep moving forward with some of the things that we've had planned, and some of the things that we're adding to that plan now, and of course building on the accomplishments that we've already made too.
Well, here, look, Chris Valdez said he ain't Conch strong, Key West strong. He all of that plus Clayton strong. That's a new one.
I love it. Thanks.
So all love right there.
Yes, sir.
Let me see who else. You know this person right here?
Oh yeah, there's Wilhelmina.
Yeah.
There she is, Dave.
And here you got a comment right there, Yvette.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Yvette?
You see what she put? Miss seeing you at DOH.
Oh, yeah.
How long were you at the DOH?
I was there for 27 years.
Gotcha. Wow. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the record, let me be clear. I keep it blood raw out here on my podcast. I'm fully 1,000,000% endorsing Clayton Lopez for Commissioner. This man, I've known for over 30 years.
Thanks,
he helped me when I was young, coming up in high school as my breakdance manager. and he's helped me ever since. I still learn from him. So I appreciate everybody that's put, their hat in, and anybody is able to run. And that's great, but I'm going 1,000,000%. So like that, you don't have to worry where I'm at. I'm with Clayton Lopez, 1,000,000%. Eat, breathe, and sleep. Whatever we need to do to get this man reelected. I think you have one more term if you're successful.
No, this will be it.
Yeah, if you win, you have.
Right.
And how many is it? 2 or 4?
It's 4.
Oh, 4 years. See, I thought it was 2. Okay, 4. Yeah. So
it may take that long to get one of the biggest things on my agenda. Yeah. Accomplished.
And you know what? Let me say this very clear though. This is a problem that we have all the way up to Washington, right? If you have an issue, right, and basically you heard something from somebody or whatever, don't go with all that. Get to the meats and potatoes. Amen. And talk to the man. The man is not running about anything or whatever. If there's an issue, you might be unhappy. Maybe he wasn't aware about something. But if you don't talk, people can't listen or whatever. So call the man up. Yeah. He's very easy to find. I mean, Clayton, you can find you on Facebook. Where can they find you if somebody had a question on something?
Well, I've got a website up now, ClaytonLopez.com. And we're still working on our Facebook page. That's going to be coming up.
Okay.
Octavia just harassed me about getting a new picture up there because I don't.
Octavia don't be playing around. She keep you on your toes. I'm gonna call her Rocky, but you gotta be on your toes.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
But that's good though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And like Clayton, let me ask you a question while we at it here. I'm in full mood right here. So. If somebody wanted to get a sign, do you have signs ready yet, or are they coming?
I've got some signs now, and we've got more signs that'll be coming in. I think in about a week and a half. Okay. So yeah, right now I've got one more of the large signs, and I think I got about 10 of the smaller signs right now. So if you got a small space, holla.
Okay, I'm gonna make it happen. Okay, so I'm just gonna say one name. I'm gonna let you take off.
Okay.
Ready? Coffee Butler.
Whoa. Let them talk.
Yeah, man,
wow.
What an inspiration.
He is. He is a huge inspiration. And again, talking about my family and the generations before and the generations to come. Lofton Coffee Butler, one of Key West's treasures.
Living legend.
Not just a living legend, not just an icon. I mean, he's larger than life. He really is. We just dedicated the Key West Amphitheater to him, and it's now the Coffee Butler Amphitheater at Key West, Florida.
So many people showed up, and for those that were not here, man. I know a lot of people caught it on the social media platforms.
Sure.
But there was a lot of people that went out there. Can you tell them exactly what happened with the amphitheater? Because this is part of you being up there on the dice and everybody along there getting this moving forward. So I'm glad it happened because I'd like to see people being ordered while they're living.
I totally agree.
Because,
I totally agree.
When people die and somebody famous, then they start talking to them, about them for 3 days.
There's a
on
funny
the TV.
Story with that one too.
But you got you got to acknowledge living legends. To me, you need to celebrate just like a birthday, a celebration of life every year along with your birthday, because you could be here today, gone tomorrow.
Ain't it true? It's true. We had the way that started was with former Mayor Dennis Wardlow proposing that, and he wanted to make sure that was named the Coffee Butler.
Hold on, he did that on his tenure?
No, he did that. He did that here lately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was one to bring it to fruition. So like
he
that,
wanted it named after right.
Yeah, Dennis Wardlow is serious. He's another living legend. So many living legends around.
God, yes. That's why he's one of our mayor emeritus.
Yeah, nice.
So
nice.
But Dennis is the one that started. Dennis is known for starting movements, by the way. He's also the one that started the Conch Republic.
Yeah.
By declaring us succeeding from the mainland. From the Chris Valdez can speak to that too, because his father designed the original Conch Republic flag, the first official flag for the city of Key West.
And I'm very touched by this, and I'm gonna tell you leading into my next thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And God bless Coffee, but anytime you see that man, make sure you have a conversation, take a picture with that man. He's a living legend. I'm talking about anybody that you see. I make it a point. If this thing ain't touched you on COVID-19 or what's going on in the injustice that are in the world now, I don't know what will touch you, because this is unprecedented waters that we in, and we definitely need a change. And as you know, I'm a firm believer. Even before, I didn't need none of this motivation, but now I'm even more standing up for injustice. I've always been one to stand. You know me, that I stand up for stuff if I have to go against the grind. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not letting any injustice go in any which way, shape, form, or fashion.
And we all need to do more.
And I'm gonna be clear on this. If there's an injustice coming, even if somebody has an injustice towards the police, I'm standing up with the police. If it's on the other side and the police has an injustice for a citizen, I'm standing up against that. If it's an injustice of people doing what they're not supposed to be doing, I'm going to scream and holler. Whatever I need to do, I'm just not going to let it go. If I'm thinking about it, I'm going to be involved about it, because, like I said, we just can't allow this. I don't want to see anything in the rest of the time that we all live in, another episode like George Floyd. I don't want to see this no more, or whatever. This has been going on way too long, and this got to come to a goddamn stop. And to be honest with you, leadership reflect action, and the leadership is shifted one way. You can't unite people. You damn sure don't belong to be leading goddamn people.
And I'm with you there, Louie. And that's one of the things that, I'm always humbled every time you acknowledge my managing, mentoring, whatever, you young guys with the Soul City Breakers, because that is so important. That, that's what it's all about. Stepping up and making sure that, you talk about the injustice and the like that we're dealing with today. I was simply trying to give back what was handed to me. We had men that worked with the younger men, the younger women, the young people as a whole.
Everybody needed a little help sometimes.
And I saw some promise in you guys. And there's not one of you that hasn't done what he has wanted to do, and I'm so proud of each one of you guys.
And I appreciate that you helped us there, guided us, and basically mentored us, and you still continue to be a mentor to me. I appreciate that. And this, all we're talking about, is right here on number 6. I got written right here. This is exactly what one human family. Yes. So my question to you is, how do we keep that? How do we stay one human family? Because I'm concerned.
Yeah. I think we need more people stepping up, because I think you were building to that, and I jumped in there, and I apologize.
No problem.
But yeah, I think that's what's necessary. We need more people to jump in and start. And if you see a young person that can use some direction, don't just down that person. Much like you said with me, I've always been accessible, I've always been accountable, etc., etc. But the reality of it is that that's also true with young people. If you see somebody that needs some help, don't go talk about them. Go and talk to them.
Gotcha.
And try and help them understand what you have to offer.
And another thing is, if you go black and white, like when Clayton was coming up, it was kind of black and white. You're either going to follow the stuff that you're doing, or you're going to be done. That's how things used to run back in the day, right? Well, there's a whole different generation. They don't understand black and white. So if you don't have one word, it's called patience. You're going to lose a lot of kids. I'm telling you right now, if you don't have patience with these kids, it's just part of doing it. For those of y'all that are great teachers, and even coaches or whatever, if you don't change a little bit of your style or whatever, we're gonna lose some kids or whatever, because you can't go back in the 80s or in the 70s. It's just not gonna work or whatever, and you got to continue to keep working with kids and try to guide them, because let's be honest, the ones that never go cross the line, you ain't never gonna have a problem with them. It's the ones who occasionally they cross over, you got to push them back. They cross over, you got to push back. And for the young people too, you guys have to be willing to listen. If you want to learn, you must listen. Like when I'm in a room of stuff and people like Clayton who has the expertise in dealing with health and Dr. Burroughs, I got to listen to them people. Man, I'm not a doctor, but I listen to what they say, and every day I learn something. And to me, I'll be honest with you, I had to come up on the school of hard knocks, but straight up learn it as I go and go from there. And Clayton, I'll tell you, I'm kind of wild, but we never had malice.
Never. But yeah, I'm so with you there. You gotta be able to adjust your method if you want. If your story's not getting out there, if it's not being received the way that you want it to, then you got to be willing to tell that every single day. You have to be willing to prove yourself every single day, and that's on both sides of whatever the issue is, young and old. You talked about the differences about with young people and with those my age and maybe older even. Here's the thing. The things that my grandparents saw. My grandfather got to see the first airplanes hit the sky.
Really?
Okay?
Wow.
For me, that was not even something to consider because they were already there.
Right.
Okay? My mother saw things, my father saw things that I can only imagine.
Right.
And I remember the days of segregation. I just thanked one of my middle school teachers, and I'll call her name because I'm happy about it, Miss Jackie Sanchez.
Okay.
I was having a difficult time when the schools desegregated. Okay, I was at middle school is a difficult period of time for any young person anyway.
Right.
Okay, so that's when they decided, but I was in middle school when they decided to desegregate the schools. And Miss Sanchez was strict now, don't get me wrong, but she was also quite understanding and willing to work with you. That was what this little lost black young man needed.
Right.
And so what we know as being yesterday is actually history to our kids.
For sure.
So we need to make sure that they understand the value of that.
And like you just mentioned, a teacher, in my opinion, teaching profession should be the highest paid profession in the world, and planets above and beyond. How we do that, I'm not exactly sure. Coaches, for example, they're very low paid. It used to be 10 cents an hour. Now we're down to probably 5 cents an hour because you got to put in a lot of work, a lot of competition out there. So it's up to me. Teachers should be the highest.
There you go.
The highest paid profession.
Again, 100.
Anywhere, because changing
100.
lives or whatever. And these people, it's not like they do it for the money.
No.
They do it for children.
Amen.
And these are the facts. Clayton, you still going strong over here. Look, Ralph gave a shout out there. Who he shout out there? Martin Luther King Community Pool.
Martin Luther King Community Pool is another one of the things that we redid, and we got some more work to do on that again because that's an ongoing project.
Nice place.
Yeah. It really is.
So nice.
Mongo, what do you say there? Calvin J. You know who that is?
Oh, Calvin J. Allen. Yeah. He's talking about Mr. Allen.
Oh, okay.
The one that did all the work on the history of the churches. And if you get a chance, really look that up. Again, not just the churches in Bahama Village, not just the churches that serve primarily the quote unquote the black community. And I got to say it that way because there's almost no complete segregation anymore in the churches. Thank God. That's kind of ridiculous when you say that we all believe and we all believe in the same God and all this stuff, but yet you have you have separation in the church. That doesn't make sense. But that's almost gone. But people go to their home church, they go to the generational church, etc. But Mr. Allen has done a history, and it actually pertains to other churches around the city in addition to those that serve Bahama Village.
And another thing I'll touch here briefly is that in order to stay one human family,
hey Doris,
and basically unite people, we have to bring people together for a good cause.
Amen.
So if I'm on left field, I said this today. If I'm on right field, somebody on left field, we want to get to center field, we're going to have to talk and see where we can get in order
Just
to
had that conversation last night, brother. You're right.
You got to do it because,
you got to.
if you want to move the nation, this is past local, you want to move the nation, you got to bring people together. And just because you're a boss don't make you a leader.
That's right. That's right.
This is, and Clayton, I got to tell you, boy, you got a lot of, it looks like you got as much jurisdiction as the mayor because you're going all the way to Stock Island
He
here
does.
with Doris. But some people don't understand that your district covers more than Bahama Village.
Absolutely, yeah. My district, like a lot of people are saying, well, he's the commissioner from Bahama Village. Well, I am from Bahama Village, yes.
Yeah.
There's no question. And Bahama Village is where a lot of the activity is in District 6. But District 6 goes as from South Street up to Reynolds Street.
Okay.
And then that's on one side of the district. In somewhat the center of the district, it goes up Virginia Street to Watson. Over on the other side of the cemetery, Commissioner Weekly likes to say that I fought him for the cemetery and I wanted that one to get. He always gets me with that.
Yes.
Because he said I could get more votes there. But that's an old joke that where that used to happen in Key West many years ago. But yeah, on this side of the island, it's on South Street up to Francis.
Gotcha.
So Southern up to Francis, sorry, and south up to Reynolds, Virginia up to Watson, and Southern up to Francis.
Speaking about Francis, you know this person, Francis Saunders.
Oh, hey, my godmother. Oh, my God.
Yeah, everybody on Facebook. Wow. I told you, big right now. Congratulations to Coffee Butler Amphitheater. Let me see. Anita Remy.
Oh, that's my cousin.
Checking in.
All right.
We could go all day here. Well, I'm telling you, all day we could stay out here. Look. Let me see. Carolyn Shine.
Hey, Carolyn. How you doing?
Yvette checking in. Let me see who that is. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. Good old Robert Lockwood was on the
wow. Hey, how you doing?
I'm gonna say something real quick on Robert. So the other day we had Robert on, right? I've been doing a quiz because I'm an advocate for change, and I think we're definitely lacking on this. So I have a quiz that I do. Basically on getting stopped by the police, right? And knowing your rights. Out of 10 people I quizzed, 9 fail.
Wow.
When it goes to the basics, it's fine. When we get to a little bit more involved, they fail. So I had Robert come on in here. Obviously, he passed. He's one of the few people that passed or whatever. But I think this needs to be learned in school. And what I think we should do is basically have an assembly where we have the freshmen come in and have people talking about how to deal and be respectful out there with law enforcement, and then tell people what are your rights in a traffic stop, because this is half the battle, but this is not being taught.
No, it's not being taught.
Not for people 9 out of 10 to fail. This is a basic thing that people should know, and they just don't know it. And I don't know where we dropped the ball on that, but it needs to be part of some curriculum.
And I agree, Louie. And that may be something to advocate for that I may add to my platform, because I agree with you 100%. But it's never been taught, by the way.
So
I
never had this talk.
Never had that.
I know it because I always try to go above and beyond. I like the law. I took business law, both in high school and college. I ask questions. I want to know why that is, what is the rights, because like I said, I'm really not going to allow any type of injustice. I don't care who it come from.
Sure.
So
on my own, I went out and bought this book. The title was Up Against the Law. I don't know if and that was in the late 60s, early 70s. So, but I don't know if it's still in print now, or if there have been any later printings, because I'm sure that there have been changes to the law and everything.
Right.
So that particular book that I read would certainly be outdated, but the basics of it are true. It tells you how how to act and how to make
Right.
it, you know.
And
it goes farther than just the interaction between yourself and an officer, by the way.
Gotcha.
So it's something. It does actually give you some knowledge. So I highly recommend.
And people, there's always going to be some bad apples in professions.
No matter what.
So this ain't about black and white. It's about wrong and right.
Right.
This is what it's all about.
Right.
If you see an injustice, stand up for it. Instead of filming, if you could act, go ahead and act, because you might, you never know, you might save somebody's life.
Amen.
Clay, this thing is still coming in. This person right here. Can you see that?
Hey, Jabari. Yeah, man.
Yeah. We had Lydia on the show too.
Oh, hey, Lydia. Yes. I caught just a little piece of that one.
Who we have here? Can you see that one? Nina?
That's Miss Salinger, and she's looking. Oh, thank you so much.
What'd she say?
She's saying that she's rooting for me.
Okay, Annette
Jefferson. All right,
Carlos, Rosa. A lot of people in here, Clayton. Thank you all so much. This is all love, Clayton.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's all love. This is what it's all about.
Yeah,
so bottom line, the future of Bahama Village looks very promising.
Yeah, I think the future of the city, the future of my district as a whole looks very promising. One of the things I want to get that I'm in there, hanging in there to try to make happen is to get the affordable housing, the much needed affordable housing over on the Truman waterfront.
Is that in the pipeline?
That's what we're calling it, the Truman waterfront. But truthfully, it's the area of the property that's farthest from the waterfront.
Okay. Is that like headed towards going to the amphitheater?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we don't even have the design out yet. We've got a basic design that was done back when the BCCLT had it. And
how many units you think were off the top?
Off the top, I'm thinking that we're looking at somewhere about 120 units.
Okay.
Total.
We can't have enough units because one thing, and I just like to say this real briefly, is I hate to see people working 3 jobs just to make bills.
Agreed. But I'm trying to be careful on the number, because that's going to depend on the density that we're able to provide for it. By the way.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, but hopefully we can get up to that many. The other thing that affects the density is the fact that I'm trying to make a priority family housing. Most of our affordable housing in the city and even in our county now is for singles and like twosies, two person families and and
2 bedroom, 1 bedroom.
Exactly.
And the square footage is not there for bigger families.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know too many people that struggle to be able to provide, and they make too much to qualify for the low and very low, and they don't make enough to qualify for the
and a catch-22.
Yeah, exactly.
And Clay, let me explain something to y'all.
Got it.
Some people, say, well, I don't want to vote because my vote, I'm only one person. As we know, elections have been 1-by-1 vote in Key West. But here's the important thing. If you get people on the diocese and you don't work with people, you will not get anything done. And one thing I've seen Clayton do is basically be able to bring some people along sometimes to see his point, because at the end of the day, COVID-19, 2021, and 22, the majority rule in the world, right?
Yeah.
So you need 4 votes up there. If you're constantly bickering and fighting with people, you'll never get anything done or whatever. So you have to be able to listen. Yes, sometimes, you get passionate about stuff and you might have heated discussions, but that's just part of business or whatever. But if you listen, you might pick up something, and sometimes, you could sway that vote, because sometimes there's a swing vote there. It can make or break or whatever. And this is one of your gifts to bring people together. And I'm going to say this again here. First of all, for the record, anybody got a problem with Clayton off the bat, they got a problem with me. But I'm going to say this, blood raw, if you have an issue, go talk to the man. Like I tell people, this is how we deal with stuff on the street. We don't do the little Facebook chatter. None of that. We pull up and say what is going on. I mean, you could talk. You don't have to raise your voice or whatever. And the main thing is, like we was talking with young people, respect is critical. If you don't respect people, how are you going to expect to get respect back or whatever? And guess what? Resumes don't lie. So look up the man's track record from point A to point B or whatever he's put in dues. You commissioners don't get paid a lot of money either. I'm going to be perfectly clear. And they definitely work. This ain't just a 9 to 5. It's 24/7, 365. If you put in the time you put in COVID, basically you almost working like a CEO at a major company.
And that very much is. And some I wish some folks were able to see us when we go in for like hurricanes. And the like.
Yeah, so, and then, like when it's talking about hurricanes or whatever, they don't leave the city. I could just say I'm going to evacuate, and go about my business. Over here, they're in the trenches or whatever. So it's a hard job. And like I said, it's good that people want to be in office. But to me, you ain't going to get my vote unless you paid your dues and you bringing something to the table. You just can't come around here, show up and pull up and say that I'm going to be a commissioner. You got to work for the people. I'm out here constantly working for the greater good of people. What I like to see everybody do well. Especially somebody from Key West or whatever, and at least maybe you don't vote for Clayton, but at least have respect or whatever. That's all I ask or whatever, and hear the man out. Now Clayton, like I said, unfortunately, it's good with social media because you get, especially in marketing and entertainment, you get a lot of information.
Sure.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of foolishness that happen on social media. So I think there's a lot of misinformation. And I want you to clarify and please don't miss any words about what is going on, because I understand and please clarify this. Some people want a museum and some people want a clinic in Bahama Village. But what I understand, both are possible. Is that correct? Or
both are absolutely possible. The last conversation that we had publicly with the proponents of the museum, first of all, yes, there's no way that anybody is going to ever make me believe that a museum is more important to a community than a clinic. Okay, something that takes care, especially right now during what we're doing right now with this COVID-19 thing. Come on, let's get real about these. Okay, well,
can I say something?
Please.
If you don't live, how do you make it to the museum?
Thank you.
I mean, it's common sense. And I don't know the subject, Gordon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Your point's well taken. And I agree with you 100%. And that's the way I feel. One of the educators, again, another one of the educators that was one of the people that formed my life, the late Miss Phyllis Allen. She was a cousin of Mr. Calvin Allen. She said, take care of the living. Okay, there are a few other educators, and there are some that have really made their mark, but there are a few others that have done what she's done, and even fewer that have surpassed that. So that said, for her to say, if anybody should go into that museum, it would be her. She started teaching the year before the schools desegregated. So does that not tell me that she should be in that history as well? And then she went on to make her own history within the city and the county and the school system here in Monroe County. So here's a woman that said, take care of the living. Okay, and absolutely, I also think we should honor our dead. There's no question. I think we would be wrong and remiss not to do so. The reality, though, is that there are locations, and the city is working to try and come up with something that the group that wants the museum will accept. They've refused every offer that we have made, and that's been the problem.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up. And like I said, we can't get anywhere unless we talk to each other and we compromise, because basically we don't live in a dictatorship. You put your heads together and you work together, but you have to have respect for the people. If you come with a if you have a wrong approach, where let's say the police come with somebody with a wrong approach, they're gonna get wrong response. Just like on the other side, you talk to police any type of way or whatever, you might have a problem. So we have to change. If we don't change ourselves, we can't change the world.
Amen.
Clay, I mean, this thing is, we could go on here for 4 hours. I mean, this thing is let me see. Let me see who we got here. Let me see. Okay. Casey Tyne, you know that person?
Yep.
Okay. Harry Fuller says support
Henry, okay,
Phyllis Lopez. Okay, that's awesome. And can you read that one, Clayton? On
Randy Schooner, we need control of the Uber and Lyfts.
Okay.
Yeah, the city, and that is something that we need to look at. The state, unfortunately, though, has superseded the municipality's ability to be able to regulate. But I'm all for whatever regulation we can achieve. If and who was that? Was that Mr. Schooner again?
Yeah.
Randy Schooner.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, give me a shout. I would like to talk with you about that, because if you know something that I might be able to propose, I'm willing.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. Who's this person right here?
Tedra, that's my niece.
Nice. Yeah, it's a lot of love right here. Listen, this every time, see, Clayton is a special soul. When he comes out here, everything, it's a blessing. And I'm not saying that because Clayton knows me. If I got something to say to somebody, whether I love you or not, I'm going to say it straight up or whatever. So this is a blessing. So like I said, he has my support. I hope that you guys support him. And I've been challenged by the supervisory elections to get up to 85% of the vote. And, we got to make a change. If we don't vote, we're not going to make a change. And it starts locally, but this is the biggest election of your time living right now for a lot of people or whatever. So I really don't care who you vote for, but I ask you to vote and don't take it lightly, because this is just a grave situation that we're in. I'll be honest with you, I would like to have this year I wish they would skip this year completely, because it's been all bad news.
It's been a crazy year.
Across the board or whatever. But you know what? We're Key West people down here. We take all people too. And that's another thing I want to say. Just because somebody came from Pittsburgh and they're not a conch and they've been here for a while or whatever, they have as much say so as I do too. Just because I've been here 30 years or whatever, we got to embrace people, and we have to change, because what happened, unfortunately, in 1960, 1970, we had the place to ourselves. Yeah. It's no longer. The people discovered it. Ain't nothing. Things change all the time or whatever. Yeah. And that's basically it. Clayton, any closing words for the people?
Well, yeah, I want to say, you mentioned about the change, and you know what? And I do care, by the way, who you vote for.
Yeah. Well,
I understand with you, but as far as that change, we're in the middle of the change that we were working on when I came in. Right. So that is important. And sometimes that change takes a little longer than you had actually planned. And the thing is that right now, there are a lot more changes coming, folks. Be real, be ready for it. Here's the thing. People that, we've got some really tough decisions to make, because we've got some really tough challenges coming. COVID is going to impact all of that. That's just part of it. And then, of course, we've got the referendum on cruise ships, and so many other things that we're gonna be facing. So all of that said, that change is definitely coming. For some, it's coming whether we want to or not. So you can't afford right now to put somebody in that has to learn the job. You've got somebody that has begun the change, that has been doing the change. I've been here. I was born here. I've been here. I'll be here, and I'm not finished yet. We've got. This is my last dance. Let's have that last dance together. That's it. Let's have that last dance together, and stay with the one who brought you to the dance.
Also, Clay, campaigns require contributions in order to run them correctly.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
if somebody wants to contribute to your campaign, how do we make that happen?
Right now, we're only taking contributions directly.
Okay.
Unfortunately by snail mail or hand delivery.
Okay.
At my personal address. I have no problem. Again, accessibility has always been one of my strongest points.
Right.
So I can't stress it enough. 326 Amelia Street. I have no problem with anybody knowing where to reach me.
Is it okay for people to call you?
Absolutely.
Are you-
305-797-3584. Please, yes, absolutely. I look forward to talking to people. If you've got some suggestion on something that you would like to see me focus on, absolutely, then let's talk about it.
Okay. Clayton, like I said, we could be out here till next week.
For sure.
More people in here. Who's this young lady right here? Trent.
This Tedra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Daryl Goose, another one.
Daryl, yep. Goose, what's happening, brother?
Yeah. So listen, we thank you all for joining the podcast. Thank you, Dave the Outlaw, for the production today. This has been very good. I love the podcast because we get into meats
and I thank
potatoes.
You too, Louie.
And I'm with you, Clayton, a million percent. You know, you got my vote, and I want people to get out there and vote, and let's make this thing happen because there's a lot of complications going on. And I'll conclude with this. First of all, when you get up to the commission, if you're a first-time commissioner, it takes you a long time to figure yourself out. So the first tenure is rough. You just kind of knowing your way around the building, right? So you've been there for a long time from A to Z. Yep. But the same way things are going in a positive direction like you see, all it takes is to get 4 people who have no idea which way they're going, and the whole city can change. Yep. Just like it's happening in Miami Beach. You used to be big on a lot of stuff with the entertainment and stuff. Other people got up there or whatever, now not so much or whatever. So this is a critical election. Thank you, FloridaKeysInjury.com for sponsoring the show. All love. If you get into any type of accident, whether it be on a moped, bicycle, or automobile, make sure you go to FloridaKeysInjury.com. Local boys at 302 Southern Street. And Advanced Urgent Care, Key West Marathon in Key Largo with the #1 doctor in America, Dr. Burrows, backed up by Dr. Pucci. And I'm so happy that the COVID-19 is now free and some exceptions apply. Thank you all so much. Clayton, you know I love you. We're going to keep
love you too,
we're going to keep riding until the wheels fall off. Let me see what else we got. Thank you all for watching. All love. Louie C. the Mayor on the podcast. Big Clayton Lopez. Make sure you vote for that man. Do big things. How?